into visions and goals and things like that. And none of those things are built in.
Exactly.
And we talked about the broad enough that every grade level can use it, but with some direction. And the life's opportunities. Some students I work with, because we have a blended program, these are kids that potential have to be valedictorians down the road, just based on my little experience with them and there's other kids that 15 years from now we're still working on the basics, just because that's where their cognitive skills are. So how does that fall into their life's opportunities? We're all going to have the same opportunities at some point in time. It's how we address them.
Exactly. Coming from the Department of EL, so one thing that I think would be important to have in there is just that we are the makeup or demographics of Grays Lake as an entire group, as a district, is very different now than when that was written. And so yes, all students are important, but how can we also talk about bilingualism, biculturalism, or multilingualism and things like that, kind of putting that in, because I think it's important, since we have so many different languages spoken, and over 700 students are in our program.
When you talk about, equity and access, equity is about everyone, obviously, in the building, no matter what age or stage of learning you're at, but it's also about your culture and, your core values and things that all students come to school with. That should be reflected in the mission statement, and because that's who you serve.
Sure. Good point.
Who we serve. Say you were a teacher in the district, or a provider, but
the collective you. We got it.
But yes. But as a community member, I'm a parent in the district too, but as a community member, I would like to see this mission out, so people know what this district is about. And, it's a marketing tool of sorts. We want people of diverse populations to move here and live here and be part of this community. And so that's something we should strive for in a mission, so that when people are like, maybe I'll look at Grays Lake, I'll look at a house there, and they'll look at the school district and oh, okay, that makes sense. I'm going to look into that some more. It should be really out there.
Yeah, thank you. I agree.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. Going back to the comments about the piece about life's opportunities, in some respects, I think that is stretching beyond what an elementary school district really is doing. We're more about laying a solid academic foundation, and then they take that foundation and build on it through high school and college or whatever, which does set them up for opportunities in life, but our primary or immediate focus is more about that academic foundation.
Mm-hmm. So maybe we could do the college and career readiness, because then that could be the foundation, but it would also encompass a lot of different opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always liked when I've seen the term groundwork or the cornerstones as part of something that's a mission statement, because basically you're saying we're starting with at the base, and we're going to build a solid enough base that whatever they do, wherever they go, whether it be high school, college, who knows what, it's there for them to build on. So I think when Steve talked about that groundwork, that's I think somehow that would need to be in there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now that being said, the notes we have, that's a lot of stuff there. Ultimately, in my mind, as I'm looking at it, I'm like, how do we condense that? How do we make it meaty, for lack of a better term, without a lot of extra fat? I know that's a weird analogy, but put all that information there, but not make it so big that it is hard to remember.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if you want to hit on equity and access and multiculturalism and bilingualism, and also inclusion for like what Mr. Fry is talking about with those kids that have different levels of abilities, like my daughter. I think inclusion is a really good idea that encompasses all of those things.
Yeah, well said. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Inclusion, equity.
It will definitely come down to, you know, word choice and what words have greater meaning than this, you know, specific when you put them together. And all I think it sounds like we want to start over.
Yeah, take probably just about everything out but the first 4 words in the number 46.
I also just wanted to hit on, I know one of the questions that we're supposed to be thinking about is whether or not it uses powerful verbs and not passive verbs. And I feel like parts of this are kind of passive. And I am not an English teacher, so I'm probably not the best person to like pick this apart. But there are definitely parts about this that feel a little like they're being drug out, and it could be a lot more to the point, you know? I don't have anything specific, just a feeling.
And along that line, and obviously the English I work with my kids, you know, they're real short little sentences. We don't get depth. Yeah. But for example, I think this is what you're getting at, is that first line, it says Community Consolidated School District 46 will provide. To me, a more powerful way to write that, and I'm not saying this would drop the word will and just make the word provide. So Community Consolidated 46 provides. You know, so that it's not saying, well, we're going to get around to it. We'll do it because we are doing it.
Yes.
No. Like I said, I don't know if that's formal use, but I think that's what you're getting at, right, Samantha?
Exactly. That's exactly it. And that also just helps shorten it and make it more concise, which makes it easier to memorize and
almost write it in the current tense.
Yeah.
Well, it's written right now. It's the future tense. We're going to do this. Write it as it's happening right now.
Very nice.
And that's part of what makes something powerful. We're in it.
The other thing is, you write in the present tense is more likely to last longer. You know, I don't remember who said it was it's kind of outdated. You know, if you write it that this is what we're doing, maybe 10 years down the road, hypothetically you have to change it, but maybe it's just a matter of changing some of those other words. You know, maybe the technology has changed, or maybe the dynamics, whatever it is, but you can leave that core of your verbs and, you know, and your driving words in there.
Sure. Check the slide. Yep, I think that we've talked about all the points that were on both of the slides to have us do this activity.
I have one more thought. I feel like provides an educational environment, and that almost seems kind of cold. Like it needs to be more about a community, I think.
I agree with that.
Thanks.
So it's almost as if like community's right there in the name of the school district.
Mm-hmm.
So like act on that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And from a teacher standpoint, what does educational environment do? Provide it to me. As a teacher, I'm looking at strategies and, you know, those type of words versus an educational environment. You know, and you know, you're right, IEP goals, and those are very specific about what you do. But strategies is a good thing that, you know, maybe that's something we include in there. You know, the district provide strategies to make people successful. And once again, I know that's simplistic, but maybe that's the direction.
Mhm.
Well, but those are words that lead to goals.
Then that's exactly where I was going to go next. If somebody says you need a strategy, in my mind, once again, as that teacher aspect, okay, a strategy, and I'm looking at X kid. How am I going to make you accessible? Your success is going to be look different than this student's success over here because of your skill level and your cultural background and your upbringing and all those different things that go into figuring out how to make somebody successful.
Mhm.
Well, here's my question is when we go back to the big group, that's a lot we wrote down. Obviously, we don't. You're not expecting me to read all that.
Oh no, I think synthesize it as best as you can.
Right. And I was kind of jotting notes. I think the things that we need to highlight is we got to include equity. Got to make sure whatever it is inclusive, but includes all the demographics of our. We talked a little bit about building a groundwork. That's got to be something that's building a groundwork that will allow us to be goal focused, and definitely needs to be more powerful. And that basically, as a consensus, we're looking at a brand new mission statement.
Mhm.
Okay.
You got it.
Perfect.
No problem.
Thank you. Right. We have like 2 more minutes before we're supposed to go back. So if we're feeling good, then we can stop the recording and we can head back to the main group. Or any last words or final thoughts?
I think I'm good. I think overall, I think and I'm assuming maybe you know a little bit more about this, Stephanie, because you're the leader. Are we going to be the same group the entire time?
So they're talking about that.
Okay.
Right now, it's not totally discussed. We think that there'd be benefits, and if we all stayed together and kind of work through the process, all the way until March. But I am not sure. I'm
All
not
right.
sure. Mhm.
All right. Well, I think we definitely got a good start based on the outline they gave us to do tonight.
Exactly. Yes.
Agreed.
Go team. All right.
Yeah, bigger
Thank
group we
you.
go.
Great. All right, yeah, I'll stay. I'll stay in here until everyone has gone back to the other meeting, and then I will turn off the recording. Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you.